It's wonderful to be here with you again. We're in Vancouver,
Hmm.
and you spent a lot of time in Chiang Mai
Yes,
over the years, and you've been working with the light and the Pyralight for many years.
yes, yes.
And it's unexpected for me to be here with you at UBC. But tell me a little bit about the journey you've been on
Okay.
recently, because it's really very powerful and unusual one.
Well, first, I'd like to say thank you for just the connection with the Ajna light and the Paralight, because it has given me truly a life journey, a life living
Mm.
journey. And basically, what happened about 15 months ago, I was riding my Harley Davidson, beautiful sunny morning. I was just doing that nice, quiet cruising speed, enjoying the environment, and a huge buck deer jumped out in the middle of the road. I curved around to miss the deer, and that was the last thing I remember. Later to find out that I ended up in the ditch, and the ditch was full of wire and rocks. And basically, I was like a ping pong ball and got beat up by the rocks and the wire. And what had happened was my helmet was forced off my head, ripping my chin open, breaking my two front teeth
Mm.
out, crushing the humerus of my arm, ending up to be a titanium arm, which was a very long 5, 6 hour operation. 3 ribs were broken, hips chipped, the C3 chipped, cracked chest area, and most of all was what they called I had a snow globe brain. So there was so much blood in the brain, they weren't sure if I would ever talk or walk again. And they said to my family, probably she won't make it till the end of the week. So they flew my family from Victoria into Kelowna, where I was, to see me before I left the farm at
Mhm.
the end of that week.
Mm.
Now, my brother, who knew of my life before, he'd call me that hippie weird type from alien land. He knew that I loved the Paranite, and he knew I loved the Agenolite, and
Mm.
that's what I shared for a very long time, including with him.
Mm.
And he brought it into my private ICE room. And when I woke up from my coma, I realized the journey, why that happened. Basically, what happened while I was in my coma, he would slip the Paralight underneath in my bed, underneath into my back, and put the top one on my tummy area.
Mm.
And he'd leave that on all night long. Plugged it in, left it on all night long. And then the Paralight, when the nurses were in their evening shift and it was very quiet, he would put the Ajna light on and give me a session. Now, he didn't quite know how to work it, but it didn't matter. I was getting an Ajna light session. And I was still in my coma. I wasn't here. I had a tube coming out of my mouth and braces on, and I was unable to move. Yet he knew my love for what it was, and he realized, as a writer himself, if this is what she loved and she's
Mm.
dying at the end of the week, then I might as well give her what she loves. And I love the
Yes. What a
Paralight and the
beautiful
Agenolite.
thing for your brother to do. Really
Yeah.
amazing.
And I woke up. I came out of the coma. And I had what they called a snow globe brain. And
Mm.
the snow globe brain, from what I understand from the doctors, is a brain that all parts are not landed. Most accidents, there's part of the
Mm.
brain okay, and there's part that maybe they have to work on, like speech or something. I had all parts kind of floating there, and they basically didn't know how I would be. So they didn't have any reference to it. But my brother at nighttime would give me the Ajna light. So in my feeling, and I don't know for sure as facts, but truly in my feeling, my brain is giving me this cognitive thinking, language, physical body, my connection to life in a really beautiful, loving, kind way.
Mm.
I feel in that time the Ajna light helped the brain find itself. You know, it wasn't the light fixing the brain.
No.
It was the brain having pathways, maybe rhythms giving to it or frequencies that allowed it to find, let's get back to how we are. It was very beautiful.
And how did the doctors react? Because this goes really against all the allopathic theories of what's meant to happen, you know. It's
Yes, of course.
not a drug thing, but it sounds like they were interested, which is unusual. And are you going to be talking to them about this and helping them
Yes.
understand? Or
Yeah, so my occupational therapist, my physical therapist, and all 9 of my doctors would write on the top of my file miracle, you know, because they can't believe that I'm walking, talking, and moving. It's not possible in 15 months. And they said if I was going to walk and talk and move, it would take probably 3 to 5 years. So it's less than a year, or just a little over a year, and I'm walking, talking, and moving, and even getting prepared to come back to the work world in my joy. And that was a curiosity for them. What is she doing? Why is this person, who the next person who has the same thing is staying in a wheelchair or a different state? What is different? And we're all intelligent human beings. And for me, in my experience, the difference is one, maybe before the accident of my way of mind, how I lived, how I ate, working with the light and the Pyralight, these things might have maybe given the body the information, the wisdom. So then when it was in this broken state, when that wisdom came back, the light came back or the Pyralight came back, the body recognized it and moved it into its natural state again. And I was sharing with you before about the Pyralight. One of the things that today I'm forever grateful for about it is, in this journey of this accident, I had to be on very intense, heavy painkillers that doctors told my family, to get off them, I will be addicted, and we're going to set her up for a program so she can, you know, not have an addiction to the painkillers. And so, but the doctor didn't know that I had the Pyralight on 24/7 through my brother's guidance, and my older sister helped too. And so when it was time for them to stop giving me the painkillers and take me to this rehab opportunity, when the pills were leaving the system, they were waiting for the behavior patterns, which is usually anxiety, anger, I want more, something's wrong. There's all kinds of stories that you hear from different things. I didn't have any. Nothing. I didn't even feel like, usually you have a thirst, I need something to drink. I didn't even have that. And doctors are like, wait a minute, you were on some of our heaviest drugs we have right now, and you're not having any behavior patterns that represent that. And I didn't know. I was still coming back, but my brother said to me later, as my cognitive mind came around, he said, he calls it the hippie thing. He says, I think that hippie light thing did more than I know.
oh, good for him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've known you for years before, and you know, I've talked here in Vancouver to other friends who've known you, and you really have changed.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful part of being able to surrender to a healing journey that often comes in a way we don't want, obviously, but what you've expressed with the Pyralight is exactly what I've experienced with it, because I use it 12 hours a day for the last 3 years, every day. Sleep with it. I use it on the computer. I know you use it for writing and all sorts of things.
Yes.
That it is a harmonizing tool, and it creates what's called syntropy, or the opposite of entropy. It's a reorganizing system. That's what the vortexing field is. And because your DNA is intact, it's your morphogenic field is being recreated.
Wow.
But this is so outside the medical paradigm of everything has to be fixed with mechanically or with drugs
Yes.
that it must be very disconcerting for them.
In fact, my occupational therapist, now that I'm out of the hospital, because while I was in there, they have to follow some rules of the system, but I'm home now, and she said, can I see what that thing is? And I gave her a full
Oh,
session.
good for you.
So she had a full session, and she said, oh, this is quite miraculous. Now I see why, because she was aware of the activation that she felt through the colors and the geometrics of her experience in her brain when she had a natural light session. And then the Pyralight, she even said, oh, I feel a little calmer in my body.
Beautiful.
You know? And I said, well, have that every day. You know? And she said, oh, I see now, yeah. And she's very supportive of me now, and very supportive of alternative ways of looking at health and repair, and how do we, the body is so intelligent.
Yes, yeah, it
Very
wants to heal.
intelligent.
Yeah, yeah.
It's designed to heal. It's not designed to fix it with a Band-Aid energy. It's designed to find a way to heal itself. And that's what I learned through this journey. And yes, your systems have, in my heart of hearts, have given me a faster route, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Of this healing journey. I'm sure maybe it would have taken that 3 to 5 years, but it's only taken 15 months.
Well, congratulations, Maggie. And I know this is because you have work to do.
Thank you.
And it's a real pleasure to be back with you in the world with the Ajna and Light. Thank you.
Thank you. It's so happy. I'm so grateful. And it's a miracle to be here. Everyone. Not just me. I mean, all of us are miracles. All of us. Everyone.